I want to thank everybody. We're joined by Representative Ortiz, Representative Garnett, Senator Garcia. In addition to those who are here, I do want to thank Representative Neville and Senator Rankin for their work. It's about time that we recognize, of course, and elevate those who defend our freedoms every way that we can. And that means both indeed with some of the bills that we'll be signing today and have signed, but also in word and in elevating this park, previously known as Lincoln and Liberty Parks, to the Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park. And this name change is more than just a gesture of recognition. This treasured park here at the foot of the Denver Civic Building, the state capitol, is a living memorial. And simply speaking the park's new name will remind everyone who speaks of Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park, of the service members who have protected our freedom abroad, and as our reminder as Coloradans and as Americans of our gratitude for that service. We honor the service and commitment of over 400,000 veterans who call Colorado home. And we always, in our state, keep their sacrifices, the sacrifices of our military families, in the forefront of our minds. With that, I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera.
Thank you, Governor, and I'm really honored to be here today with all of you to celebrate the passage of this important suite of bills that will have a meaningful impact on veterans in Colorado. In 2020, as the Governor said, veterans made up about 8.5% of the state population, and that's nearly 400,000 parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, and neighbors that bravely sacrificed so much to serve their state and their country. So today, with the renaming of the Lincoln and Liberty Parks to Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park, we honor their service in a tangible and very visible way. Every day, the folks who work and visit this beautiful building and outdoor space will be reminded of those brave individuals across our state who fought for our freedoms. So thank you to President Garcia, who's here, Speaker Garnett, Senator Rankin, and Representative Neville, who are not here, for their sponsorship of this symbolic legislation. And most importantly, to the veterans whose advocacy, and I've talked to a couple of them here today, who helped get this bill across the finish line. Your voices are critical, and we are really grateful for your service. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Speaker Garnett.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and good morning, everyone. This really is an honor to be here. We passed a lot of great legislation this year that helps support our veterans, and 1257, which the Governor is about to sign, is meant to ensure that we honor them in a permanent and very visible way. House Bill 1257 is going to rename the park that you are currently standing in from Lincoln Park and Liberty Park to Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park. It's important for many reasons. One is I know that many of you drove to the other Lincoln Park that we have here in Denver, and hopefully, literally, that was the last time that ever happens. And we have an opportunity to make sure that this park stands out from all others in Denver. This park is home to the Colorado Tribute to Veterans Monument, the Colorado Fallen Heroes Memorial, and the Joseph P. Martinez Monument, all of which commemorate the Colorado veterans who have faithfully served our country, and renaming the park to Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park is only fitting. It is not often that legislation really comes from the grassroots and comes directly from your constituents, but House Bill 1257 is one of those bills for me personally. I'd like to recognize the incredible Tim Drago, who is here. He is a Vietnam veteran, and he is a dedicated steward of this park. If you talk to anybody, if you talk to Rick Lee, if you talk to anyone, they know Tim, because Tim is the one who walks the park to make sure that there is no trash. He's the one who reaches out to Rick and his staff when there's a light bulb that is out. And he is the one, along with former Representative Jeff Shoemaker, who is here. Everyone please recognize Jeff Shoemaker, who came to me and said, before you are done in your legislative career, can we please make sure that we rename the park so that it recognizes the veterans and the service of all of those Coloradans who have defended our freedoms. It is an honor, and it has actually been a longer journey than I thought it was going to be to get to this point, but it is all thanks to Tim and to former Representative Shoemaker. So thank you all for being here, and with that, I would like to turn it over to President Leroy Garcia.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just am happy to have played a role on House Bill 1257. I'm going to save more of my remarks for two of the other bills that are coming, but I'm honored to be here with you all and joining you for this bill signing.
So we make it official? Here we go.
Woo! Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. Thank you. No, that's you, man. Thank you, Governor.
Does it take place right away? Is it now, or is it July 1st? We'll see.
Yeah, I think it is.
We'll start calling it now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your work, and thank you for your service as well.
Thank you.
Next bill is HB 21-1065. I want to thank Representative Ortiz, Senator Garcia, and Senator Gardner for this bill that makes sure that our qualified veterans and spouses of disabled veterans and service members killed in the line of duty really have every opportunity in the private sector here in Colorado. As a state, we're committed to making sure our veterans and military spouses find stable, rewarding employment. This issue is a very important one to me personally that I worked on before entering politics. I co-founded a nonprofit organization called Patriot Boot Camp, which supports veterans in starting their own businesses and becoming entrepreneurs. This bill really furthers the mission of Colorado being the best state for veterans to make their forever home by making sure that employers recognize veterans' unique abilities that they bring to the workplace. This bill will help ensure financial stability for military spouses who make great sacrifices. The last thing they should have to worry about is whether they can find a job with the skills that they have. This bill increases the employer's flexibility, strengthens our community by making truly Colorado one of America's most veteran-friendly states. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera.
Thank you again, Governor. Last March, the COVID-19 pandemic upended our lives and our economy, leaving too many Coloradoans, including many veterans, out of work. After years of steady decline, the unemployment rate among U.S. military veterans jumped to 6.5%. So as we continue the work of building back stronger, it's critically important that we support our neighbors who will diversify and strengthen our workforce. And by ensuring that employers can give preference to veterans, the spouse of a disabled veteran, and service members killed in the line of duty, this bill does just that. This bill helps ensure that we provide opportunities for our brave women and men in uniform as they transition to the next chapter of their lives. So I'd like to commend the sponsors, President Garcia and Representative Ortiz, not only for their hard work on this legislation, but also for their service in the military to our country. So thank you both. And with that, I'll turn it over to Representative Ortiz.
I'll make it work. I can talk loud. This is a bill that I've been working on since I moved here to Colorado and since I became an advocate and lobbyist for veterans. And this bill would not have crossed the finish line were it not for the work of sponsors in the Senate. So I want to say thank you to them. And it would not have crossed the finish line were it not for the negotiation hard work of our Speaker, Representative Alec Garnett. So I want to start by thanking you for that. I could start by also throwing out stats that veteran suicide is endemic in this nation. And unfortunately, Colorado is leading the way in that. And that on average, veterans tend to, post 9/11 veterans in transition, tend to have a higher unemployment rate than the national average. In places where they do study this, like in San Diego, even though their veterans are 6% more highly educated than their civilian counterparts, they have a 16% higher unemployment rate. And so I really want to thank all the work that went into trying to solve this issue. On a personal note, I know that my transition from military service has been one that's been particularly difficult, especially coming away living with a disability. And it was finding family again, it was finding a meaning and a purpose and a mission in the community and finding employment again that really put me on the right path for a successful transition. This bill is a first step in making that happen. So thank you for everyone that made this happen. This is going to positively impact veteran lives and really give some weight to the saying that Colorado truly is the best for veterans.
Thank you.
Well, I too want to echo the thanks, not only for the veterans organization, but for my counterpart, Representative Ortiz, and also the Speaker's leadership. You know, this is an important bill, and as Representative Ortiz just said, there's no veteran who realizes that the transition from military life to civilian life is easy. And this is the proactive approach that we find so that we're not, as we talk about the next bill, Senate Bill 129, addressing the veteran suicide rate here in Colorado, that we're being proactive about this. So I really commend all of you for your work on House Bill 1065.
All right, let's sign it. Ready? Great job with this bill. There we go. Official. Congratulations. Next bill is the Veteran Suicide Prevention Program. Representative Ortiz, President Garcia. I want to thank you for joining us. We're also joined by Robert McLaughlin from Mount Carmel Veterans Center that I visited several times, Kristen Belair, and Deborah Wagner. This bill creates a new pilot program to help prevent veterans' suicides. With this funding, up to 700 veterans will get the individualized treatment and support that they need to make it through their tough times. It's our duty to support veterans during and after their return to civilian life, and behavioral health is one of those needs that often goes unmet. This pilot program is just an early step in expanding critical support for Colorado's veterans. We know that the wounds of the battlefield are not just physical, and we recognize and embrace our responsibility as Americans and as Coloradans to support those who put themselves on the line to protect us. Veterans had our backs defending our nation. It's time for us to have their backs when they need it the most. Turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Dan Primavera.
Thank you again, Governor. And thanks to all of you for being here today as we sign Senate Bill 129 into law. For the last 2 years, our administration has prioritized getting high-quality, affordable health care to every Coloradoan. We've made remarkable progress, and while we celebrate those achievements, we also acknowledge that there is always more work to be done. And that includes making sure that behavioral and mental health care are integrated into services that every Coloradoan can access. It's interesting that I was reminded in a meeting earlier this week that at their core, the words integrate and health mean the same thing, to make whole. Mental health is essential to overall well-being, and without robust mental and behavioral health services, our healthcare system will never be whole. So this bill will be an incredible tool in our arsenal in increasing the mental and behavioral health services in our state, specifically for our veterans. As Representative Ortiz said, unfortunately, the suicide rate among veterans in Colorado is significantly higher than the national average. So by creating a pilot program to provide no-cost, stigma-free, confidential, and effective behavioral health treatment for veterans and their families, this bill addresses this urgent challenge and will help those who have selflessly served our state and our nation. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Representative Ortiz.
I want to start off by thanking Senate President Garcia for allowing me to be a part of this bill. He approached me about the work, and I was excited to be able to join him in this. It's a no-brainer that it would be a pilot program in El Paso County, since the highest concentration, or one of the highest concentration of veterans is in El Paso County. Look, at the end of the day, we bring a lot of training, we bring a lot of real experiences and a lot of strength to the community. But because of multiple combat deployments, because of broken families that can happen because of multiple combat deployments, every once in a while we just need a little bit of help in order to recognize and see again the value that we bring to our communities. This program is going to go a long way to doing that. So I want to thank everybody that put in the work, and with this I'm going to pass it over to Senate President Leroy Garcia.
Well, normally bill signings like this are a time for celebration, and it takes an immense amount of work to get an idea all the way to the governor's desk to be signed into law. Although I do feel the same sense of pride and gratitude for all the work that has gone in here today, I also recognize that this is a somber feeling. We just learned a few days ago how devastating our veteran suicide problem has become. Brown University released a report that finds since 9/11, 4 times as many U.S. service members and veterans have died from suicide than have been killed in combat. When I joined the United States Marine Corps a few months before 9/11, I knew that the next several years in uniform would be a challenge of a lifetime. What many U.S. service members weren't prepared for, myself included, was just how difficult that transition would be back into civilian life. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I served in Iraq in 2003 as a mortuary affairs specialist. And when I returned back home, I knew that the costs of war would stay with all veterans just like myself. I'm proud of the bill and the work that we're doing here in Colorado to step up and ensure that our veterans community is taken care of. But I know that there's no one-size-fits-all to the solution of saving lives for our veterans. So today, while we celebrate this small victory and importance and celebrate the lives that this pilot project will help save, we cannot stop here, and I must encourage everyone to find ways big and small to help fight the veteran suicide crisis. And so thank you for everyone for helping make this a reality.
Sign the bill. I'll be excited to look at the impact this program makes.
Thank you, Governor.
It's official. Congratulations. Great work, everybody. Thanks for all your work on behalf of Colorado's veterans.
Thank you for being here.
Last one. Okay, Senate Bill 32, Mobile Veteran Support Unit, Representative Ortiz, and we also want to thank Senator Donovan for this program. Thanks to Representative Ortiz and Senator Donovan, we have another tool to promote dignity, community, and support for our veterans. This will create a mobile veteran support unit, which will distribute supplies and provide needed transportation services, work with the Office of Economic Development to connect veterans to job opportunities, and a single point of contact for veterans who in rural Colorado who might not be near one of our veteran service centers, also veterans experiencing homelessness, really helping to make sure that veterans can get the services that they've earned, that they are entitled to, where they need them, to meet them where they are. This kind of outreach can strengthen our communities and make sure that those who have dedicated themselves to defending our nation don't fall through the cracks of services that they've earned by serving our nation. With that, I'll now invite Representative Ortiz.
Thank you, Governor. It's no secret that veterans make up a larger majority of the homeless population, and I think we've seen through the work that this state is doing through the packet of bills that we've been signing today that there's a long journey that eventually ends us up there. This bill is going to go a long way in making sure that those that have fallen through the cracks and ended up homeless, especially in our underserved rural areas, are getting the resources and services they need. That's what this bill is going to do. We heard a lot during this session about bridging the rural-urban divide. This bill and this mobile unit is going to go a long way in doing that. So thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Representative Ortiz. Let's make it officially the law of Colorado. Sure. Look forward to joining you in one of the mobile units when we get them up and going. So excited. There you are. Senator Donovan. Thank you all for joining us.